Today on Back to the Feature, we talk about the brand new horror film, The Void.
You will become something remarkable.
The Void is a new horror film that John and I got the pleasure of being able to see, and I have to say, after much hype and a lot of thought, after seeing it, didn't really like this movie very much.
Yeah, it missed on most of its cylinders, I'll say that.
I was definitely looking forward to it. It's kind of this interesting Lovecraftian style, kind of conspiracy, horror, creature feature.
It's like everything that we love.
I know, like it's like, oh, this would be awesome if all these things happened in a movie, and then they managed to just sort of fumble every single one of those things.
Yeah, it is a big surprise too, because I didn't even know about this movie until Chris Stuckman put out his review, and he gave it a pretty decent score. And and then seeing its green Metascore, it's got a green Metacritic, and it's just one of those films where it's like, cool, let's go and check this one out. We're big horror fans, and man, this was a disappointment. They
were definitely trying to emulate a specific kind of style, and they definitely put a lot of time and energy into the creature effects and into the practical effects. And I mean, that is definitely the strong suit of The Void. That's the one thing they did really well. But I think at the end of the day, there just wasn't enough to the characters or the story.
To the characters.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of they toss out a couple of the really cliche things they do to make you care about some people. But other than that,
they kept giving like subtle hints to things from the past, but then they never really they never retread it. They never bring anything full circle.
They never give you enough. They just never give you enough to really care about the characters, and like their actions don't make you care about them either.
No.
Sometimes you don't need to know the past of the character. Like the driver in Drive, great example. We know very little about him, but it's because of the things he does and the way that he carries himself and the way that he treats people around him. We see the way he interacts with people. We're able to determine things about his character. And I think that in this movie, man, people just sort of react to things. And that's all that happens.
It's just a horror house.
Like, yeah,
the movie is just a horror house. Like let's make a horror house movie and have all these characters kind of wind up together in this hospital.
Well, it's something kind of like a siege film like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you've got all these people outside trying to get in, they're trying to hold up in this hospital. You got all these people trapped together, kind of like Dawn of the Dead. Other great movies that people love and we love. But it definitely just there was no tension. There was really, for me, there wasn't a lot of fear. There was some interesting imagery and some great practical effects, but when it's just empty, it's really hard to get into it or invested or to care about any of these people that are in this situation and having to deal with this crazy.
Yeah, it's just kind of like let them all die. I don't even know what's killing. I don't even.
Yeah, know. Like I couldn't really relate to the lead. I really did not like him. I didn't like a lot of the decisions he was making. The other police officer too.
Yeah,
I love that when it's like he shows up. The one cop shoots this woman, and immediately he starts. He takes the other cop's gun away and says how he's an awful cop and his dad would be fucking like. No, they investigate that first, and
you don't take his gun. Like no,
it doesn't really work like that. And for him to just immediately be like, you shouldn't have shot this person. Like, why would you have ever done that? It's like, because he's a cop. He's trained to have judgment and like.
Yeah, and you never get any. Yeah, there's just nothing there. There are things in this movie that I enjoyed probably a little bit more than you did.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy the atmosphere overall. Like I thought it staged its atmosphere, and then like the cult, the mysterious cult that's kind of like in the white robes surrounding the hospital. Thought all that stuff was pretty creepy.
I think they did a good job of managing to not make them look like Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
Easily been just look just like that, and it did kind of have its own feel to it. When they first show up, I thought it was pretty cool, but man,
all practical creature effects too.
With the cult though, like I really think though that it was like diminishing returns. I felt like with that atmosphere.
Yeah, I wish they didn't capitalize on it. I wish they would have shown a little bit more.
I think that it was like right at the beginning, right away. It's like okay, cool, okay, ooh, these stakes are getting higher, and this is interesting. But then they sit on it so long. Like those people just stand outside. Like it's not scary. There's no tension. I think 2 of them ever walk in the hospital the entire time. You don't really feel scared. I think like it's not that scary. And I think that like there's some stuff with the creatures that's pretty freaky. Like the way that they take out some of these people is really gross. Like that's I think some of the stuff that I thought was well done, but. We don't care about the characters who are getting their face destroyed. It's really hard to. Hard to enjoy.
I think there are people out there that will find this movie pretty scary, though.
Yeah.
I think it's better than some of the the Paranormal Activity type stuff.
Oh,
like the Ouija, those types of Halloween seasonal movies that come out each year. I think in my mind, this movie does a little bit better job. But
saying all the horror movies that hurt me in my soul.
a movie that did basically this exact same thing, but much better, was A Cure for Wellness. And a lot of people are giving that movie a lot of grief, and Cure for Wellness is kind of a masterpiece in comparison.
It's the psychosexual stuff that turns them off, John. But no, yeah, I definitely agree. Like this seemed to have kind of more of a tense kind of conspiracy feel, and it just didn't have it. You never were wondering really about those guys outside in the white robes. They were such a non-factor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt like I'm a huge Cthulhu fan, Lovecraftian nerd, and for a movie that a lot of people were billing me like, oh, okay, hey, this is gonna scratch that itch, like it's gonna hit all those beats. You get Cthulhu call, you're gonna get these crazy like monsters and nondescript horrors of cosmic dread, and it just did not deliver. I think there's some really cool practical effects, but beyond that, it was a really, really hard watch for me. I'm gonna give The Void an F. John, what is your final summary and grade then for The Void?
I found The Void to be, I don't want to say somewhat enjoyable because it is pretty bad overall, but I did find some enjoyment in certain things, and it's just kind of like I was disappointed. I was really disappointed in this film. I'm still giving it a passing grade. I'm giving this movie a D, and I'm giving it a passing grade simply on the fact that they did put a lot of effort into the practical effects, and I still thought it was fun, like kind of a horror house, just kind of like we're just gonna go through a horror house and have some fun with it, and that's pretty much all that this movie delivered for me. So just squeak by on a passing grade. I can see people out there enjoying this film, but don't expect much. Really don't expect much, because there isn't.
Yeah, I think if you want to see a really interesting showcase of what practical effects these days can look like, and if that's your thing, it definitely is going to scratch that itch for you. But definitely don't be going in looking for a good story or really interesting characters. But as far as a showcase of horror, there's definitely a few things that work. So guys, that's been our review today of The Void. Check it out. Tell us what you think in the comments. It's definitely an interesting watch. And especially if you're big horror fans, tell us if you think we're wrong and this is a masterpiece and we're overlooking it. Tell us in the comments. You can like and subscribe here on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at BacktoFeature and on Facebook at /BacktoFeature. I've been Giovanni Carlo.
And I'm John Vandaloo.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This isn't the end.